Friends, can we view success in terms of how we view failure? That would be very innovative. The traditional view often stigmatized failure as a negative outcome, something to be avoided at all costs. However, in a highly competitive world, should we not recognize the failure as an essential part of growth? The road to success and the road to failure are almost exactly the same, said Sir Colin Rex Davis, an English conductor with the London Symphony Orchestra. Technology too plays a paradoxical role in redefining success. While on one hand, the digital revolution has democratized, the access for information, learning resources, and opportunities for personal and professional development, technology has contributed to a culture of constant comparison, instant gratification, and digital addiction on the other. Learning to navigate the complexities of a digital world that can blur the lines between self-worth and societal validation is indeed very complex. Be that as it may, while social media often fosters unrealistic standards of beauty, wealth and lifestyle, which can negatively impact mental health, success can now be wealth and lifestyle, success can now be pursued in more flexible, creative and decentralized ways, all aided by technology. Success has some traditional markers: a good education, a stable job, a substantial income, a home, a happy family, a good social status, and good friends. However, do they capture the diverse and complex ways we define fulfillment and meaning in today's world? That's the important question. Does it come at the expense of personal happiness, relationships, and overall well-being? In times of rapid technological development or advancement, global interconnectedness, and shifting societal norms, should we redefine success under this milieu? Should it not reflect a broader, more holistic perspective that takes into account not just external accomplishments but also internal well-being, emotional intelligence, and personal growth? Challenges, of course, are income inequality, environmental degradation, mental health crisis, and the breakdown of work-life balance. There needs to be an increased focus on mental and emotional health. The relentless pursuit of external markers such as money, status, career advancement often comes with personal sacrifices, including burnout, stress, anxiety, and depression. Are success and happiness related? Are these two related? Success actually stems out of self-care and mental wellness, while happiness manifests out of inner peace. So should we be looking at success or inner peace? Even as the rise of mindfulness, meditation, and self-care practices reflect the shift associated with emotional resilience, the ability to manage stress, and maintaining mental health amidst all the pressures, achieving a sense of purpose, contentment, and emotional balance is the new success mantra. Try that. Dynamics of success is also changing contours of many of us today. Our work ethics is evolving, with many of us rejecting the 9-to-5 grind and instead seeking more flexible, autonomous ways of working. Remote work, freelancing, entrepreneurship, and the gig economy are all options. Success is no longer tied to a corporate ladder, but to the ability to achieve work-life balance and have the freedom to pursue passions outside the work. Socially conscious businesses, non-profits, and sustainability initiatives are all happening today. Whether it means working for a charitable cause, advocating for social justice, or creating businesses that are environmentally sustainable, that is something that we need to really look at. In a world where change is rapid and constant, success today is defined by our commitment to continuous personal growth and lifelong learning. Success is not a static achievement, but an ongoing process of self-improvement. The willingness to adapt, learn new skills, evolve in responsible fashion to new challenges, is increasingly seen as a key indicator of success. Success often involves or includes the ability to form meaningful relationships, whether within the family, within friends, or within the community. Emotional intimacy, empathy, and connection are all integral to a modern definition of success. We must value personal relationships over professional titles or material wealth. One must also learn from entrepreneurs, innovators, and creators who often are celebrated for their ability to learn from failures. The success of tech startups often rests on the fail fast, fail forward philosophy, recognizing that each failure provides valuable lessons that brings one to eventual success. The rise of online learning platforms like Coursera, Udemy, edX, as well as a growing emphasis on skills development, they all show we are actively seeking to better ourselves outside of formal educational systems. The success in this sense is not about having a particular set of qualifications, but about being curious, about being adaptable and self-motivated learners. Anyway, in the end, success is no longer a one-size-fits-all concept. It's personal, it's dynamic, and it's ever-changing. So therefore, as we define success, we must be mindful of how we measure it, not by outdated external markers. We must ensure that, but by our ability to live automatically, authentically, contribute meaningfully, and thrive holistically in a complex and interconnected world. That's from me for this Saturday. Something to think about, how you measure success and how you want to be seen as successful and how you want to be defined from a perspective of success for yourself. With that, friends, I end today's episode, and with a promise to be back the next Saturday, I remain. Dhanyavad. Thank you. Namaskar.